What the flock?
Yeah. Vlogging pod starts like a conversation. Cup of coffee with no destination. Just voices trying to understand what's happening across this land. From your stories told to the pages turned. Every question, every word, supported by SheSharesStudios.net.
Hello, and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. So, Laura, let's talk flock cameras, the AI surveillance, privacy, and constitutional rights. Now, for everyone who doesn't know, because I'll be honest with you, I was in the dark, but I've been seeing it so much across my FYP. And flock cameras are safety cameras that are automated license plate readers. They're commonly called ALPRSs or LPRSs. They photograph vehicles passing a fixed location and create records containing license plates, times, date, and camera locations. Now, Flock is a system collects vehicle-related information rather than using facial recognition. The cameras can record categorized details including license plate numbers, vehicle make, vehicle color, body type, and distinguishing features such as roof racks, stickers, or visible damage. The collected information is placed into a searchable database. Police can search for a specific plate or use vehicle characteristics to search for a vehicle when a full plate number is unknown. Now, for everyone who may or may not know, how does the artificial intelligence used? Well, Flock Market is a system as AI-powered vehicle identification technology. The system uses optical character recognition to interpret letters and numbers on license plates. Computer vision machines, learning tools, categorize vehicle characteristics, and turn images into searchable records. The system can generate real-time alerts when the plate matches information entered into law enforcement databases or agency watch lists. The AI identifiers and categorize the vehicle information. Police officers decide whether to stop, question, or cite or arrest someone based on that information and other evidence. Now, what information is stored? Well, standard ALPR generally contains a photograph of the vehicle, the license plate or attempted plate reading, the time and date, the camera location, and searchable vehicle characteristics. So now, here's the thing. A lot of people believe that flock cameras violate their Fourth Amendment. Now, for those of us who don't know, the Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable government searches and seizures. It's also established that warrants must be based on probable cause and describe what is being searched or seized. Now, a vehicle visible on a public road, well, courts have traditionally ruled that a driver does not have the same expectation of privacy in a visible license plate as in a home, private communication, or personal device. A police officer may normally observe a vehicle, its color, its plates, while the vehicle is traveling on a public road. Courts upholding warrantless ALPR searches have relied on the positions of those cameras or recording information already exposed to public view. Now, searchable history of someone's movement, well, that's constitutional issues changes when isolated cameras observations are collected into a database that can reconstruct where a vehicle traveled over time. Privacy challenges argue that a network of cameras can reveal where a person works, where a person sleeps, medical visits, religious attendance, political meetings, relationships, and association patterns of movement. The Supreme Court has ruled in other location tracking cases that prolonged technological surveillance may require a warrant, even when individual movements occurred in public. Now, that's important. And the reason I say it, and then, of course, I've cited a few court cases, but
Mhm.
there is one particular I wanna talk because there has been a confirmed case in which one woman could prove that the flock camera and the police trying to use the flock cameras was wrong, and she did prove it. So, now, before I get to it, do police currently need a warrant? What would you think, Laura?
I would think so, but, I
This
don't
is
know.
2026.
We're in different times now, different shitty times. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just
A timeline, yeah,
yeah,
our timeline has rapidly switched. I don't know where we're at now. Who's writing this book?
right? I hear you.
Well, we're not in those red dresses yet.
Oh, okay, there's that, there's that.
There's that. If you read, you know what we're talking about. So, there is no single nationwide rule requiring a warrant before every flock database search. So, no, they don't need a warrant. So, police departments in many jurisdictions permit officers to search block records without obtaining a warrant first. Courts have reached different conclusions based on the number of placement of cameras, the length of time covered by the search, how much of a person's route was revealed, the applicable state constitution, the federal appeal court governing the jurisdiction. A brief search producing a few vehicle images may be treated differently from a search reconstructing several weeks of travel. Now, public notification. The United States Constitution does not require individual notice to every residence before an investigation license plate camera is installed. There's no general federal law requiring every community to hold a special public vote or public hearing specifically for flock cameras. The public notice may occur through city council agendas, township or county meetings, police budget approvals, contract approvals, purchasing records, local ordinance. Whether formal approval is required depends on the local government contracting authority and state open meeting laws. Now, some communities have installed flock cameras through administrative or police purchasing authority without separate public vote. In Troy, New York, cameras were reportedly installed without the city council's approval, producing a legal and political dispute between the mayor and the city council. So, due process, Kristen. Due process applies to the government procedures used when a person is accused, cited, detained, or prosecuted. A document, excuse me, pressed my wrong button there. Due process applies to the government procedures used when a person is accused, cited, detained, or prosecuted. Documents concerning involvement flock or the ALPR systems include treating a flock image as conclusive evidence rather than investigate lead, assuming that the registered vehicle owner and was driving, failing to compare the suspect visible to another video without the vehicle owner, failing to review evidence offered by the accused, incorrect plate readings, similar vehicles being treated as the same vehicle, outdated or stolen vehicle or warranted personal information, officers failing to verify the plate issuing the state, a person having to collect private videos, GPS records, receipts, or phone records to establish the police identify the wrong suspect, difficulty obtaining records showing who searched the database. And one thing I can say is that AI is not always right, you know? And most of them at the bottom say that this can be wrong, you know? They give you their little warning thing at the bottom, basically saying that, you know what I mean, they're not 100% accurate.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, you can't turn on Google without having AI, you know?
Yeah.
And one of the times I was searching for it was Ohio, I was doing an Ohio article, and I was searching for the legal things showing me where the law was established, and it sent me to a porn site. And
Oh,
so yeah. So I was like, "Okay, alright." So, I this is just from personal experience, you know? Nothing wrong with porn if you're into that. I don't have any judgment there, but that's not what I wanted at the particular moment. I was
Right.
looking for some legal reading. So, yeah, I would have to say they're not 100% right. And here's one incident. A confirmed case in which a woman's own video proved police had the wrong person. Chrysania Elser, Colorado, package theft accusation, sorry.
Mhm.
So what happened was in September 2025, Chrysania Elser drove her green Rivian through Beaumar, Colorado, while traveling to a tailor. A package worth approximately $25 was stolen from a home in the area for $25. This is all occurred for $25.
Mm,
I know, right? It gets more interesting. Flock images showed that Elser Rivian is entering and leaving the community. Columbine Valley Police Sergeant Jamie Millman went to Elser's home. Elser's doorbell camera recorded the encounter, which, by the way, I watched. The officer told Elser that the police had video of her stealing this $25 worth package. Elser asked to see the theft footage. The officer refused and told her she could see it in court. Elser told the officer that the Riviana's built-in cameras could establish where she had traveled. The
mhm.
officer did not review her footage during the encounter. Elser was issued a summons. She later found the porch video on the next door. She said the woman shown in the footage was not her. The porch footage did not show the thief entering Elsa Riviana. Elsa's Riviana cameras had recorded her route, she gathered. Vehicle camera footage, a timeline, phone information, other records documenting her movements. After weeks of submitting the evidence, the police chief notified her that the summons would not be filed. The allegation ended without charges being filed. The police sergeant later received a written reprimand. Ooh, the
Oh,
I know, right? Boy, the police chief said the officer had been rude, dismissive, and had failed to de-escalate the encounter. The officer was ordered to complete additional training. The case matches specific category of a person accused after Flock placed her vehicle in an area, who then used her own video and digital evidence to establish that she was not the package thief. Other misidentification and error risk. Correct plate reading proves that a vehicle passed a camera. It does not prove who was driving. Vehicle may be shared, borrowed, rented, sold without records being updated, carrying a stolen or cloned plate. The LPR software can also misread letters and numbers because of, low resolution, weather, glare, plate frames, dirt, similar characters, or even the camera angle. Research involving low resolution license plate recognition continues to show that image quality affects recognition accuracy. A 2026 low resolution recognition competition, can't get the word out, reported that the leading system achieved an 82.13 recognition rate and operational difficult data sets. The research did not test Flock specifically, but it demonstrates the continuing technical difficult and reliability interpreting. Boy, it must be getting even. Is this sundown time? I must be getting old. Interpreting low quality plate images. Nothing wrong with getting old. I'm just saying. I'm losing my tongue to my mouth. It just doesn't want to come out and work. Data sharing between agencies. Flock cameras allows participating agencies to share across with other law enforcement agencies. Searches may cross city, county, and state lines when sharing is enabled. The extent of sharing is controlled by agency settings, contracts, and state law. Flock states that searches access can be logged. Investigations in several jurisdictions have found that outside agencies search local camera data for purpose that local officials had restricted. Now, I did look it up for your and my state. Would you be interested in finding out?
Yes, tell me more.
Tell me. Oh, isn't there? Oh, there's a song from Greece. Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, does he have a car?
Did she get written up?
Right? That's right. It was a song. That's right from Greece. Let's see. Grease is a classic. Don't tell me that you're too young and don't know what Grease is.
I know. Anyone else, I
Okay.
don't even.
Okay. I'm like, don't make me like the old person in the room here. Or I say I'm getting old because I can't use my tongue to talk anymore. Let's see. This is what you do when you record without any guardrails present. Okay, so Ohio, Dayton suspended and covered its cameras. Dayton suspended its flock program in 2026. City officials said they found more than 7,000 searches related to immigration enforcement. Guess what their flock cameras are being used by? I would
Mm,
say ICE.
yeah, looks
Yeah.
like.
I'm not a fan, but
I'm really
yeah, I feel you. I'm not a fan. Dayton policy prohibited camera information from being used for immigration enforcement or shared with agencies whose primary purpose was immigration. City officials described the outside searches as serious policy violations. Dayton approved additional money for an audit of the search logs. All 72 fixed flock cameras were covered and made inactive while the city investigated and prepared for their removal. Dayton case demonstrates that a local agency sharing restrictions may not prevent the outside searches unless the technical controls, permissions, and audits enforce those restrictions. That says a lot for a Republican state. I'm just saying.
mhm.
So, according to Ohio law, public record exemption, Ohio Public Records Act includes images and data captured by an automated license plate recognition system and maintained in a law enforcement database from the definition of a public record. That means the publicly generally cannot obtain underlying vehicle location images and the data through an ordinary Ohio public record request. The exemption applies to the captured images and data. The contracts, invoices, meeting minutes, purchases, documents, and general department policies may fall under different public records. Warrant requirements in Ohio. Reviewed Ohio statuses do not establish a blanket statewide warrant requirement for every police search of the investigator ALPR data. The federal court in the Northern District of Ohio rejected a Fourth Amendment ALPR challenge in the United States versus Studardiant. That's a really long last name. Nice. According to the cases summarized by the Virginia Court of Appeals. The constitutional outcome may depend on how many records were accessed and how much travel history the search revealed. Notifications in Ohio has detailed status governing traffic law, phone monitoring devices used to issue speed or red light citations. Those traffic enforcement statutes require police review of alleged traffic violations and contain procedures for issuing tickets. Investigate flock cameras are not necessarily governed by every rule appealing to speed or red light cameras because they are generally used to generate criminal investigation leads rather than automatically issue traffic citations. No statewide Ohio statute identified in these reviews require individual advance notice to residents before every investigation flock camera is installed. Now we move on to Arizona. Here we go, Laura. You're up.
Yeah,
You're up,
let's
girl.
do
You're
it.
up. Let's do it. Okay, so Arizona law and proposed restrictions. So, according to the Senate Bill 1111, Arizona Senate Bill 1111 was introduced in 2026 to create statewide rules for automated license plate readers. The proposal defined ALPR technology, a stationary or mobile technology that automatically detects plates and captures related data for the law enforcement purpose. Proposed rules include requiring training for authorized users, logging each database query, recording the use of data, time, purpose of access, annual audits, review of unauthorized or suspicious activity, restrictions on selling or providing captured data, plate data for non law enforcement purposes, a trackable criminal case or incident number for searches under versions considered by lawmakers. The measure was legislator under consideration and must not be described as an existing statewide law unless its final enactment effective date are confirmed. Now, Arizona communities ending their flock contracts. Here's the interesting part. You ready, Laura?
Ready.
Because I kind of see where you're located. I won't tell everybody. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. If you yell and scream, you'll give it away. In February 2026, the South Tucson City Council voted to cancel its flock contract. The decision followed concerns about privacy and government surveillance. South Tucson has reported as a third Arizona city to end a flock relationship. In Surprise, Arizona, a resident alleged that the contract had been entered without meaningful public input and without informing most of the city council. In Chandler, residents protested renewal of a contract covering approximately 40 campers. The Chandler City Council delayed its vote after hours of public debate. These Arizona disputes concern local approval, transparency, and contracting procedures rather than a federal constitutional right to individual notice. Now, according to the First Amendment concerns, ALPR data reveal visits to political meetings, protests, campaign offices, religious institutions, journalists, advocacy organizations. A camera recording public road does not automatically establish a First Amendment violation. A constitutional issue must arise when location information is used to identify, monitor, or discourage lawful speech, assembly, religious activity, or political association. The legal analyst depends on how the information was used and whether government action burden protected activity. Now, the 14th Amendment and the equal protection issue may arise if a surveillance placement or enforcement practices disappropriately target specific communities. A successful equal protection claim generally requires evidence of discriminatory purpose or legally unequal treatment, not only evidence that the cameras are concentrated in one area. Due process protections may also require the government to disclose and permit challenges to evidence used in criminal cases. Transparent audit records flock states that system searches can be logged. Audit logs may include the person conducting the search, the time of the search, the plate of the vehicle in search, the state's reason, the agency involved. Audit logs can identify misuse only when agencies review them and investigate suspicious searches. Dayton's discovery of thousands of outside immigration related searches resulted from an examination of access and search activity. Ohio's public record exemption for underlying ALPR images does not automatically answer whether every audit or administrative record is also exempt. That depends on the specific record or any other applicable expectation. Now, here's the current legal position. This might be something notable for anyone listening. Flock cameras are not categorically unconstitutional under current nationwide precedent. Federal law does not currently require police to obtain a warrant before every flock search. Courts have upheld searches involving a limited number of images over short periods. Some trial courts have ruled that a warrant was required when police access a broad block network. The appellate courts have reversed some of those trial court rulings. The broader constitutional question remains unresolved when a camera network creates a detailed record of a person's movements over an extended period. The federal challenges to Norfolk City's system remained on appeal as of April 2026. There is no general federal constitution requirement that every resident must be notified before a flock camera is installed. Ohio does not currently have one comprehensive statewide law regulating all the investigative ALPR searches, retention, sharing audits, and warrants. Arizona lawmakers considered a statewide ALPR regulatory framework in 2026. The Crescent and Elsewhere case is a confirmed example of a flock placing the correct vehicle in the general area while police accusing the wrong person of the crime. Her own vehicle camera footage and digital records resulted in the summons being dropped. That's a whole lot.
Mhm.
In my personal opinion, before I get on to the sources and end for tonight, I think now, and I've said this before, I like the advancement in technology, but what I don't like is the oversight. I think that when we talk about AI, it should be used to help people, not replace. And when you talk about copper cameras, it shouldn't replace true investigation from our officials, from our police.
Right.
You shouldn't just say, this is law, whatever the camera says, this is what it be. The same thing that I don't believe that AI should replace a human job. I think they should enhance your job. You know what I'm saying? Like a tool.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
should be a tool. But when that tool starts to, well, take our jobs, pollute our waters, take our electricity, I've got a problem with it. But again, there have been report records. And if you've listened to my podcast, you've heard me rattle this on that there's a lot of data saying that you and I using a search bar or chat GPT or whatever we're using or running videos on the cloud, you know, a lot of those do not require a data center to do, they just don't.
Mm.
That is major stuff. Like, I would only assume flock cameras, might be part of the problem. Big business might be part of it. I don't know, but you know how I feel about that. I have a big thing about data centers. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan at all.
Yeah.
But and I feel like a hypocrite because I like technology. I want Star Trek, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't want to lose what we have because of it. I don't want people to have lose their jobs or you know what I'm saying? Or
Mhm.
water's polluted or electric grids being, burned up or whatever else may come. I don't know. I'm pulling straws out of a hat here, Laura. So, I just think that this adds to but the biggest thing for me is I think they're pushing it so much and the advancement of it so much that the regulatory process has not caught up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I just think there needs to be a lot more oversight. I don't think it should be like, "Oh, you got a free ticket to ride."
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think you said it well that there still needs to be that investigation into things. You can't just take it at face
Right, it's like the internet. Many people were not fans of the internet. And when we had the first stock thing, the internet.com, the .com thing where it blew the stock market because they put a lot into it. They rushed it. They're like, "Oh, the internet's gonna be everything. Everything's gonna be on the internet. Everything's gonna be on the internet." And they rushed it, and then what happened? We had a .com crash. But we didn't get rid of it. It's still here today. We still have the internet. We still have, well, not just the internet, I guess, There's a whole lot to that. Websites, everything, all of that's on there, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It didn't go away, it's still here. So, but I don't know. The more research I do, Laura, the more I'm like, "What the heck?"
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, speaking of research, our sources for today is the US Supreme Court versus Carpenter versus United States, 2018. Virginia Court of Appeals, Commonwealth of Virginia versus Ronnie D. Church. CBS News Colorado, Christiania Ellsworth wrongly accused packaged that case. The ACLU, Schmidt versus Norfolk. Flock safety license plate reader production information. That's it. I want to thank you for listening. I know that was a lot to get through, but see you next time. Bye bye for now.